Hello, hello. How is everyone? Oh, this room is too hot, so Jay won't be joining me today. He's going to stay downstairs where it's nice and cool, and I have to try and not melt. Hi, Chris. Hi, Farrell. Lovely to see you. Glad you guys aren't melting like we are over here. Oh, I don't think I would be so bad if I hadn't spent like all day in the park in the sun with Bubs. So, yes, I'm feeling very tired, but I'm going to push through for today's not chill stream because I have a fan, yeah, but it's not really doing much. It's just pumping out mostly warm air. At least you can sit by the window. A portable AC unit. I'm in kind of one of those sort of like frame of minds. I'm like, but is it like bad for the planet? I'd rather just have a fan. I get like a guilty conscience like that. So, you know, I've got like my homemade chums messaging me. So, because we met up today with like a homemade lot, and then we're meeting up tomorrow again. Whole weekend of homemeding. It's great. Heat is gone for over a week now, so we're good. That's good. I'm glad. Heat is bad for Papa. Yeah, exactly. I mean, at the moment, like, it's like I went in Bob's room to get it ready for him to go to bed, and it was 27 degrees on the thermometer. He has like his own little thermometer so we can keep an eye on the temperature in the room. It was 27 degrees, and it was by the window. So yeah, but it doesn't bother him. It's like Jay said, he put him to bed and he wanted the quilt on him, and he's not got a fan in there. He doesn't like the fan, so hopefully it means he's got my sort of toleration of heat. I mean, I have like low toleration, but compared to Jay, I have like amazing toleration to the heat. Oh, hi Jaden, how you feeling? I saw you had your stitches out. How's it all going? Right, shall we just get on with this? Let's rip the plaster off. Rosie won't be joining us, I think, because she's going to be in a sulk. The fact that Skyrim, yet again, did not win the poll. So I might have to, like, just give her a bonus stream next Friday, because I feel bad. But yes, let's hangover. Let's head over to the thing. There we go. Let me know if the volumes are okay. I've had to turn it right down because it was really loud in my ear when I was testing it earlier. So let me know what it's like for you guys. I'm just sitting here with like my hand in front of the fan. My free hand. It's my free hand for now. Come on. There we go. So the key is this time to save every 5 minutes to make sure if it crashes I don't lose everything. I can just pick up a save. Because I want to experience the whole of the DLC. I know I played through it, but like I missed most of it, so... It's Tyranitar again beating up Lara. I don't know why, but I always just find that really funny, how she just like face plants the floor. Hey, you're here! I thought you wouldn't. I thought you'd be like sulking, like me. You clearly do love me, yes, and I appreciate the love that you clearly have for me. I'm still sulking. I did say, I don't know if you heard, but I did say that next week I won't do a poll. I'll make it that I will actually do a Skyrim for you because you have been so patient. And it is kind of unfair as well, the fact that like Tomb Raider fans have the upper hand because it's mostly Tomb Raider fans that follow me. I need to remember what button was it. This one, there we go. Whee. Boop.
Oh no! Fanny's exposed!
Okay, thank you. Recovery is going well. At least it was until yesterday. I had some bad news from my surgeons on the tumour that I had removed at stage 3. Oh no, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry, Jaden. That's awful. But does that mean in terms of like, is that just to like make sure that they've definitely got it all, or is it just to make sure it doesn't come back? You're at the roller disco next week. Oh, okay. I'll make it the week after. Although I think we're actually at the caravan. The next stream that you're around will make it. We'll make it a Skyrim one. Yeah, please everyone send Jaden our love. He needs it right now. Bless him. That was a silly one. But you just can't catch a break right now, can you, Jaden? Bless you. But yeah, I hope it works out. So can I get my head around it? I was told it was benign, but since there is cancer cells present, I need therapy to prevent it from coming back. Well, at least that's the thing. It's like preventative measures rather than like it being anything sort of scarier. So hopefully this is like the be all and end all. But yeah, chemo and radiotherapy are not something to laugh at. No. So yeah, I just hope it's as quick and simple as that can actually be. But yeah, we're all thinking of you, Jaden. Right, save. This is good. This is going to be annoying. I'm going to be doing a Rosie and save every 5 seconds. How do I save? That would help. I'll save here. Yeah. There we go. No shame in over saving. No, exactly. No, it's just that last time, I don't think you were on the last stream I did of this. The game crashed and I lost most of it in terms of it just jumped me to like the end of the game. So I think I'm more nervous for the therapy than I was for my operation. I have to go in every day. I'm notified for 6 weeks. Well, yeah, well, chemotherapy is scary, so I'm not surprised. Stupid game. It's an emulator, so there's going to be a few issues with it. But if it weren't for the emulator, I wouldn't be able to play it, so... Yeah, all the hugs. All the love and hugs, Jaden. Wish there was more we could do, to be honest. Boom. Yeah. Oh. Stop telling me things I already know. Yeah. Well, I'll say I know, but I'm technically only really just smashing buttons right now. Good. I don't know what that is. What's that? Yeah, there we go. What's with the troll? It's because we're in, like, where are we? Viking territory. That's all I'm saying. Like, these are thralls. So it's close to Skyrim, because we've got thralls, so, you know. I'm clutching at straws here. Right. And look, you know, it's just so blue. Don't fall off the edge. Vikings, yay! Viking stuff. Go. What was that? Come on. Okay. Yay! You run right into it. Never say blue will always. Yeah, exactly. How can it not? Stop telling me. There we go. Did it. No. We love Vikings here. It's one of the next books I'm going to read. The one that Rosie gave me. Boop. Yay! What one was it? Is it Neil Gaiman? Is that how you say it? Norse mythology. That's what I'm going to read next. Though you weren't a fan, was you, Rosie, of that one? Back here. What? Whee. Gaiman, okay. How have you changed your name colour? But no, it was weird. Norse mythology is weird though. Apparently it's an option. Ah, okay. Oh, for God's sake. I was just pretty. So what does this do? Just blew up my computer. It's fine. Oh, stop telling me. Exactly. Oh. This is getting really annoying. Oh, that was close. Yeah. Big. No, jump on it. Silly bitch. No jump. Okay, save here, because I'm fed up of doing this all the time. I'm not allowed. What? There we go. Hydrate, thank you. I have my tea. Jay at least dropped me off a tea before he went and saved himself downstairs. So what are people's plans for the weekend? Okay, I'm gonna save there again. La la. Early tea, yes, because we've been out all day, me and Bubs.
Like your new look.
So he's been like in the sun all day, so he just crashed when we got home.
Lara in you for your own good, slave.
He's invited for free drinks at a bar tomorrow. Oh, sounds good. Are you gonna go?
Now.
Free drinks are always good. We're going to a Caribbean, like Taste of the Caribbean festival thing in a local park. And so I'm hoping they do like jerk chicken and rice and peas and rum. So I'm just gonna sit there just like reliving my uni days when I went to the Caribbean for a month to dig. Great times. Nice. Go for it, make the most of it. Excellent work, yes.
Amanda cut the power. Go reactivate it, but be careful. This machine is useless to be damaged. Once the power is restored, return here for further instructions.
Yes, sir. So, let's save. I can't remember where I'll save, so I'm going to go here. And here. Where am I going? I think, isn't this the room where it crashed? Literally, I did not get far before it crashed. Ooh. There we go.
Right.
Hey, thank you, Uncharted. 18 months subscribed. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Seeing you soon. Not long. And hi, Angel Ash as well. Happy Friday. How are you? Boom. Yep. I'm just pressing random buttons at this point. Stop it. How is it up in Scotland? Is it really hot at the moment? Are you suffering as much as we are? Yeah. Boom. Ah, okay. Shimmy and jump. Boom. Nope, nope, nope. Yeah, hopefully, Ash, you can help cheer Rosie up because she lost the vote. She naturally wanted Skyrim, but obviously Tomb Raider fans won. True to form, Scotland is grey and overcast. Oh no. Can take some of the heat. We don't mind. Yeah. Stop hitting me. I am big. We're good, thank you, Uncharted. How are you doing? I'm sure, like us moaning about the heat, if you were to actually hear how hot it is here, you'd be like, positively winter. Skyrim. Jay did as well. Jay voted Skyrim. Super tired. Is it still super busy? Didn't you say your boss is on holiday at the moment, Feral? Being in air conditioning. Haven't worked in 10 days finally. Oh no. Good luck. Temperatures you work at, I'm pretty sure that's like not feasible for humans to actually work in. That's it. Whoa. A lot of fun tasks, but today wasn't like that. That's good. And now you get to just chill out for the weekend and go out and have free drinks. Always fun. Right, where are we now? Good. Yay, I love it when it just pushes them over the edge. Boom. There we go. Save. So I'm going to be really annoying at saving, but after it crashed last time, I don't trust it. Free drinks, hurrah! Stop regenerating. Get away. We've started watching Stranger Things from the beginning. So we're just coming to the end of season 1. I think we've got one more episode to watch and then we finish season 1. And it's crazy like how many things we've missed or forgotten about. So it would make so much more sense when we watch season 4 again. Because obviously that's what we're going to do. Oop. Oop. You're horrified that they're 18. Yes. It was so funny, like we were watching, like we started watching season 1 and we're like, they just look like so young. Like babies. The classic stop, yes. Just watched the last episode of The Boys and my life is awesome. No. Hi Nina, how are you? You sexy bitch. Little babies, they are. Well, it's like when they like 11, 12 when they started. Dustin was absolutely my favourite of the first series. Absolutely love him. He's so cute. It's like, yeah, just scary to think that like, how old is Josh now, Jay? 12, so like Josh is the same age as like as in Jay's nephew. Yeah, it's the same age as what they were when they started filming Stranger Things. It's crazy. Love The Boys. We need to watch that. We haven't watched it. We keep missing everything. We're loving Miss Marvel though. Absolutely love Miss Marvel. Such a good series. Are we going up? No, we're going down. Up. 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 How was my podcast? My podcast was amazing. I had so much fun. Like, the first part was like an absolute disaster and I absolutely hated myself and I was kind of like, I just want to walk out right now, I don't want to be here. When like I walked into the wrong class. Well, I didn't walk into the wrong class. What it was I asked the lady at reception where the class was. She pointed it out to me and I could see there were people in the room. So I was like, oh, maybe that's them warming up. So I walked in, everyone stops and turns and looks at me, and you know when you just feel like everyone's looking at you and it's really horrible and you just feel like the spotlight's on you, and I hated it because it was, like I said, it was all super young, super skinny, super made up girls, and I was just like, okay, I feel really out of place here. So I was like scrambling around looking what to do with my stuff while everyone was looking at me, and then the teacher just said, oh, are you for the beginners class, could you wait outside for like 10 minutes because we're still going. So I was like, oh, okay. So I just like went and sat outside and I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that. And I felt absolutely awful. But then when we went in, all the girls that were there were like, even though like I was the oldest girl there, I felt like sort of old lady doing it. They were all really nice. They were all very nervous because not a lot of them have actually done pole before. There was only like 1 or 2 there that had been to a few classes before and we're just repeating the beginners level. So yeah, it was really nice, and I got paired up with this girl who's like amazing. Like her upper arms are just like immense because she's a boxer. I can't remember what else she said she did. She does, I know her main thing is boxing, so like her upper arm strength is just phenomenal. And I was helping her out with some of the moves, like it was mainly just like really simple spins and a climb, and it was just good for me to just gauge like where my strength was. I can't invert just yet. I tried to get my leg up in the air and I couldn't. I think because it was at the end of the lesson, I was just at that point I was just really tired, so I couldn't do that, but I could do climbs and the spins and stuff. sounds stupid to me. Why would you put makeup on for a literal workout? But the thing is, it might have been that they just come from work or something, or college. But again, they're young, and to me, that's what young girls do. They're really self-conscious, so they just put a shit ton of makeup on. And we live in Essex, so come on, it's just what they do. I had my first pole class last night. Yeah, and I've got an itchy back, and I'm trying to like scratch my back, but my arms are really starting to get stiff. Yeah, inverting is really tough. I remember not being able to do it the first few times when I first started. Like, my first pole class was like over 10 years ago now. I did it for like 3 years, I think it was. Hang on, let me pause this. I need to talk about the importance of pole. So yeah, I started pole at least like 10 years ago, and I did it for like 3 years. I got quite advanced. I wasn't amazing, but I was really good with like my strength and stuff. There were certain things I couldn't do, like I'm not like you can ask Rosie. Like, Rosie doesn't have the strength that I do, but then I have nowhere near the flexibility that Rosie does. So so for me, I'm really good at like doing like the poses and different things, but I don't look as elegant as Rosie doing it. Rosie is like super bendy. But so yeah, so I did it for like 3 years, I think it was, and I was absolutely loving it. Like, we had a pole at home and everything. But then my teacher just disappeared, literally. Like, didn't know where she was. Everyone was like messaging her. We were like, oh, she was meant to let us know about the new classes, like when they were coming up and stuff. Didn't hear anything from her. She just literally just disappeared off the face of the earth. Luckily, we found out like a year or so later or whatever it was that she was fine. It was just that she had a bit of a breakdown. Thank you for the 5 bits.
That pole baby.
Well, I've got 2 poles now, but yeah, so I was really sad because she was a brilliant teacher, absolutely amazing. She was actually an ex-stripper who decided that she could actually earn more money through pole fitness. Like, if she just trained sort of into like health and safety and stuff and got a license, and she actually found she was earning more money through being a pole fitness teacher than she was through being a stripper. And yeah, she was such an amazing teacher. I absolutely loved her, and I'm friends with her now on Insta. She's amazing. Yes. And yeah, I learned so much from her. And yeah, the fact that she just disappeared one day, and I was just stuck. I was like, I love pole so much, but I don't know if there's any classes that I can go to. A few friends from work have also taught pole. That's cool. Yeah, it's definitely something you could do on the side, isn't it? Because I can imagine it's a lot of money. Because I think when I was doing it with her, it was like £15 an hour, so it's quite expensive. And when you think what I'm doing now is £35 for the month, so that's 4 weeks for £35, or 4 hours for £35. So it's not bad. But yeah, so I just couldn't find a decent class. There was one class that they started up at the gym, and like, because the fitness instructor at the gym, who I'd been to a few of her like Les Mills classes, she really was into pole and she really wanted to get it started, but she couldn't get the insurance for people to be inverted, so I couldn't really progress. All I could do was just keep doing what I was doing, sort of thing. And she said, oh, I'll let you do 1 or 2 moves like inverts, because I know you can do it, but I won't let anyone else do it, and I won't let you do too many, like anything complicated, and I can't spot you or whatever. So we weren't really getting anywhere. Then she cancelled it because no one was turning up. Then we moved to Essex, because that was when we lived in Epsom. Then we moved to Essex, and I found one pole class near me, but it was kind of like, it weren't really a class, they weren't really teaching you anything. It was literally just a studio they hired out, and you just pratted about on the pole. You didn't actually, they weren't teaching you anything. It was up to you to do your own thing. So I was like, well, I want to, because it had been a couple of years by then, so like me and Jay got married and stuff, and we were planning to like have a family. So I wanted to get in shape for that. And yeah, and I just felt really sort of out of place, because there was just me and one beginner. And for me, it was, again, the whole thing of, I remember the moves, I just didn't have the strength. So I was trying to build up my strength. And it just felt really out of place, because everyone else was really advanced. They weren't helpful with what you were doing. They were just doing their own thing. So I think I went to like 1 or 2, and then that was it. I just couldn't be bothered. And it's since then that I've not done pole. So that's at least like 5 years ago. So and since then, like, I've had bubs, I've lost all my strength, I have no core, so I have to try and build up my core. And that's the whole reason I wanted to start pole back in the first place, was to get my core back, really. And I surprised myself how strong I actually was. I think it's more my upper arms, because where I do the exercises at home to try and help with my core. So I'm doing like planks, and I'm doing push-ups like daily and stuff to try and keep my upper body strength quite high, and trying to give like my back a break and everything. It has been that long, if you think about it, because when we first moved here, I looked for the pole classes. I was determined to find the pole classes, so it's been about 5 years. But that picture that I posted on Insta the other day or yesterday about starting pole up again, that was 2013 that picture was taken. So that was in my peak. That was peak pole for me, and that was 9 years ago. So you used to sit outside in the car. But yeah, so it's nice to be back, and I was really proud of myself how far I went. But it was so funny because like I said, I started the class, and I was like, I didn't want to be like, oh, I know how to do pole, because I didn't want her to be like, oh, show us what you can do, and I could do anything, because I didn't know what my strength would be. So I just was like, oh, I'll go along, see what she can do, and I can gauge how I can do it. So it was like simple spins, a climb, and then that was all that she really showed us. She was very chatty with like another girl in there, obviously, who she knew. She didn't really talk to us a lot. So I couldn't really bring up the subject that I'd done pole before. So, but I was helping the girl that I was paired with to do the moves and stuff. And then like right at the end, she said, oh, what was it? Like, because she'd done something to her foot. So she was like, I'm not going to show you any more moves for the last 10 minutes. So just practice what you want to practice, and come up to me if you have any questions or anything. So I was like, okay, you know what, I'm going to try some things. So that's when I tried an invert, and it didn't work. And then I thought I'd try cross leg release, and I don't know if like Nina, because they have different names, like different teachers have different names for different things. So I was taught the cross leg release is where you're like halfway up the pole, like you climb up the pole, do a sit, so you're like cross-legged, legs across the pole, and then you're straighten one leg with your knee bent, to sort of stop you from falling backwards, and then you just lean backwards, and like I always hold onto my ankle, and I just like went backwards, like almost upside down. And it was as I went to go upside down, like backwards, I had noticed the whole class went really quiet, and the whole class went really quiet, and then I realised, like, as I was doing it, everyone was watching me, so I kind of like went back, and then I was like, oh no, everyone's looking at me, so I sat back up again, and the teacher looked at me, and she was kind of like, have you done pole before? I was just like, yeah, I did it like a couple of years ago, but I'm like I know all the moves, I know a load of the moves, but I don't, like, it's been a while, so I don't know where my strength is and stuff. And she was like, oh, okay, cool, I thought this was gonna be some kind of like YouTube prank or something, you were gonna like pull out the cameras and stuff. So so yeah, that was me breaking into the class, but yeah, it was really good. Like I said, I'm starting to ache now, so I think it's going to be tomorrow that I'm barely going to be able to move my arms. But yeah, it was definitely fun, and I'm really, really glad I found it, because I think it won't be like my old classes, because my teacher, she was absolutely amazing, but this girl was really nice and really supportive. So we'll just see how it goes. But anyway, need to catch up on the chat. Sorry, I just went off on a tangent, making you miss it, I bet. It's like I have missed it for so long. I've like, it's whenever I found a class, I've always been really hopeful, and then I end up really like hating it, and then regretting like finding it for getting my hopes up and stuff. So I'm really pleased that I found this one, and it seems to be a really nice class as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how I can get on. I'm hoping the issue I have with my core isn't going to hold me back too much. But anyway, I'm going to try and read back on the chat. Sorry, because like I said, I went off on a tangent. So where we got up to? I know you were talking about the boys. where are we up to? Everyone wants to look like Gemma Collins. It's like the only way is Essex. Every time you go into the gym, sometimes it's ridiculous. It's like, why? But I know it's just like an insecurity thing, because like I was the same until I had bubs, and then I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I really can't be bothered. But then when you walk into a room where everyone's wearing makeup, that's when you're just like, oh no, I feel and look like shit. Do other stuff on there though, but going upside down, I don't have the time. I was going to say, but wouldn't you fall out of your costumes though? If you were going upside down. Yeah, we're sending love to Jaden, bless him. You're not having a good time of it, bless you. I hope to stick at it, yeah. I just have to see how my core goes. Hopefully it'll be fine. Yeah, all wishing Jaden the best. And buonasera, Daniel. Hope you're well. Hope it's all going well. Just use schedule. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's why you stopped, wasn't it? Was your shoulder? Is there anything you can do, like physio wise, to help with it? Me and my friend rented studio space to go practice at a place near mine just after COVID, and the owner was watching me, and she was like, "Who taught you?" And I was like, "I'm self-taught." It's crazy. She said your strength and muscle engagement is amazing. I was like, really? Like the girl that did the classes yesterday, like you could see she was ripped. Like her, like she does obviously more than just pole. And like she was in like I actually still have those shorts that she was wearing. I probably wouldn't fit into them now, but like these like skimpy little shorts, like 6-pack showing through, and I was like, oh, those are goals. I'll never get there, but those are goals. I so much support rhyming with all you guys and other friends and family. I'm so grateful. Oh, don't worry. It's like, it's the least we can do, to be honest. Shoulder has been good for a while. Because what did you do? Is it like, did you like, was it trap a nerve or something? I'm trying to remember. It's a while back since we spoke about it. But I remember you saying that you had to, you couldn't do pole anymore because of your shoulder. Actually, get back to the game. Now we've had that little pole chat. Okay, where are we? But yeah, I've got like an indoor pole and an outdoor pole. Did I need to come here? No. Oh yeah, I need to drop down, don't I? So the indoor pole I can't use because there's no room. And the outdoor pole, it's just so friggin' heavy. It would take me about 2 hours to put up. Where are we going? I can't see camera. Is it down? It's down. Yeah, it'd take me like 2 hours to put up, and then I'd end up having to put it away after an hour because I'd be knackered. So it's just not worth it unless I have like a group of people with me, or just Rosie. Rosie counts as a group of people with her energy and enthusiasm. Yeah, there we go. No. We love a pole chat, yes. Never get sick of pole chats. But I'm really feeling it in my foot from the climbs. I forgot how much it like really pulls on your skin. You need to save at some point. I heard pole at first, I thought poles and pole. We were talking about pole fitness. I did my first pole fitness class in like, I keep saying it's like nearly 10 years, but it's 10 years since I actually did it regularly, or nearly 10 years since I did it regularly. But it's been about 5 years since I've properly been up a pole. Like proper up a pole. I'd love to do, like, for my YouTube channel, I'd love to do, like, a progress sort of thing. So that might motivate me to actually get my outdoor pole out. Just to do some, like, outdoor practice. I think Bubs would love a go as well. Me and Rosie were talking about that yesterday. Get it out! Get your pole out! It's so heavy, like, you would not believe how heavy a freestanding pole is. It's so fucking heavy. Like, I nearly did my back in. It's horrible. Like, it tells you how heavy something is when the bag has wheels on it because you cannot carry it. You have to roll it. Got tendinitis. Ah, that was it. Was it from pole? Was it just like you were straining on other things? That sounds really rude. The plates are incredibly heavy, yes. Especially when you have them all together, then as well. From pole, ooh. Anytime I walk a long distance, the left side of my left foot just starts to ache. If you've got like a problem with like the arch of your foot or something, maybe. That could be a thing. Better heavy than it collapsing underneath. Yeah. It's like, I did actually have a friend who, she used to come round. She was a friend I actually met through pole. We don't talk anymore. But, yeah, she used to come around quite regularly because I'd always have my pole up in our flat in Epsom. The only time we take it down is when we had a, like the landlord come in to check on the place. And she was spinning on it once and it actually came off and she went flying and like nearly went through the window. It was quite scary actually because I thought she was going to smash the window. Where are we going? Aha. Sure, we're going to get it x-rayed. Yeah, yeah, definitely. However you say it. I think, yeah, that's how you say it. I'm gonna smash a TV. Oh no! I don't think I've done anything that bad. I mean, Bubs has smashed the TV anyway. He threw his toy at it one day. Made a big crack in it. So we had to get a new one. Made me jump, sir! Yeah, my dad gave us a bit of MDF, didn't he, to put on the ceiling to make sure it didn't, the pole, like the pressure from the plate didn't damage the ceiling. Nice YouTube visuals, yes. Right, where am I going? No! Just left mine up in the middle of the living room. Yeah, ours was a grade 2 listed manor house though, so yeah, I have a feeling they would kind of object to it. But dancing takes some effort when you think it. No. Whenever you see people do it, they always look so elegant and graceful. But you don't feel elegant and graceful when you're doing it. I can tell you that much. It's only really once you build up the strength. I'm gonna save. Like I had the girls saying to me yesterday while I was doing it, like the new girls, they were like, "Oh my god, you look so elegant how you do it," and I'm like, me elegant. Just I know how to do, like, how to position myself and where to carry, how to carry the weight. So I can imagine they can't move their shoulders this morning. Don't you dare. How lucky was that I actually saved? Please excuse. One sec. That's not the place where it crashed, I don't think, last time. I think it crashed later on. So I'm so glad I've been saving. Emmy, yeah, if you don't follow Emmy, be sure you do, because she is amazing. She is a Tomb Raider cosplayer, absolutely obsessed with Tomb Raider, and the most amazing pole dancer. I don't know if she still does it, because she doesn't really seem to post pictures anymore. But yeah, she absolutely, like, her two obsessions are pole and Tomb Raider. You must say so risky. You should have seen him fixing my old apartment with a pole in the middle of everything. You don't know that on a personal level. You sure? You sure, Daniel? Come on, bring it. Bring it, bitch. Boom. Right, let's hope it doesn't crash. If it crashes, then I just think I'm just destined not to ever finish this DLC, to be honest.
The center structure
For a
looks like it
kickboxing
drops
bag.
into the ceiling and powers the healing.
Yeah, challenge yourself. The pole's great. What video is that you just shared? I can't click on it. Can I save here? Just because has that got me past the crash? Oh, was that her Tomb Raider routine? Yeah, she was amazing. It's like she went to pole religiously, like 3 times a week or whatever it is. So she was like super strong and just really knew what she was doing. She was goals for me. Oh, not the one with her mate, but the first one. Ah, yeah, she did a different one, didn't she? I remember. Yeah, she did one with, is it Becky? I think first, and then she did a solo one. Yeah. My mates would never let me forget. I'm sure secretly they'd be in awe though, to be fair. Like the girl I paired up with yesterday on the pole, just I couldn't get over her arms. I was like, I want your arms, I want your shoulders. It's muscles for days. But then you'd think, because that's what the... Sorry, just fall over. What the hell was that? Oh. Sorry, a book just fell over. It scared the crap out of me. Did I just remind you? Ooh, book. Many fate do... Yes, Chinese pole. Don't load. Save. Let me just save and then I'll read some disgraceful stuff. Okay. There we go. It's that time. It's that time again. I have a guy friend in Canada who teaches pole. Excellent. But, like, guys have the upper hand over us because they naturally have the core strength that us ladies have to build up. So they have, like, a head start on us. It's not fair. I tried the pole on open. Yeah, I was really mean. I put it on spin. So I just put Jay on it and he was just like, ah! And I holding onto this pole as it's spinning. Each to their own. It is a bloody good workout though. A bloody good workout. Right, what do we want? What one did I read last time? Trying to think. It was hilarious. I laughed. I don't think you were laughing at the time, but... There you go. Real perverts. Spinny's great. Spinny really works your core. I like Spinny. Lean in to speed up, lean out to slow down. Although when I go on Spinny, it just says fast, fast, fast. And so I only do that. Yeah, because obviously your natural instinct when you're on a spinny pole is to hold on to it. So you go in closer, but then that makes you go faster. Good work, good to watch. Right, we settled in. We're nice and comfortable for tonight's story. We're all perverts here. Yeah, the Tory party. I remember trying it for the first time when I was really early pregnant and I was bedridden for the rest of the day. Oh, bless you. Made sense later when I got motion sickness on a regular basis as part of my pregnancy. Yeah, it's... See, I really like, because I do remember the first time I tried it. I can't remember when it was. I think it was quite early on into my classes, and it was like we'd got used to like the muscles that you were working with by that point. But then you go on Spinny and it's a whole different level of pain. Spinny is very fun, yes. We love a Juggernaut. You imagine this on CBeebies, I don't think it would really fly very well. Unless it was Tom Hardy reading it, obviously. Okay, right. Herodotus claimed that in Egypt, the wives of notable men and women of great beauty and reputation were not given to the embalmers immediately, but only after they had been dead for 3 to 4 days, so the embalmers could not have carnal intercourse with them. One was found doing it with a newly dead woman and was denounced by his fellow workmen. Xenophon of Ephesus says that a man kept the embalmed body of his wife in his bedroom. We don't know why. Wish I could do more stuff on the spinny pole because it does look very pretty, yes. Come to our house and we'll get the pole out. Let's read another one. Mr. Company then I'll begin. Once upon a time. The Roman Emperor Tiberius was invited to dinner by Cestius Gallus, a lecherous old spendthrift, and he accepted on condition that the waitresses should be naked. On retiring to Capri, Tiberius made himself a private sporting house where sexual extravagances were practiced for his secret pleasure. Bevies of girls and young men whom he had collected from all over the empire as adepts in unnatural practices would perform before him in groups of three to excite his waning passions. A number of small rooms were furnished with the most indecent pictures and statuary obtainable, and erotic manuals from Egypt. He had nooks of lechery in the woods and glades of the island, and had boys and girls dressed up as pans and nymphs. An ingenious torture devised by Tiberius was to trick men into drinking huge draughts of wine and then suddenly to knot a cord tightly around their genitals, which not only cut into the flesh but prevented them from urinating. Oh. I need to hydrate after reading that. I think I might know why. Yes, Feral, everyone come, we'll do pole in the garden. It's great. My neighbours will love it. Did I hydrate before you got to urination? Okay, timing. Right, we'll do one more. Yeah. I might have to come back to this one. I'll keep on with the perverts one for the next redeem, because there's quite a lot in there. And that's concludes this week's. One more. I'll do one more. Similarly, the Emperor Nero, AD 37 to 68, invented a novel game. He was released. The Emperor Nero invented a novel game. He was released from a den dressed in the skins of wild animals. That sentence doesn't make sense. And attacked the private parts of men and women who stood bound to stakes. No, don't put that image in our head, Daniel. Seriously. No, I don't want that in my head. Get away. And after working up sufficient excitement, he was screwed by his freedman, Doryphorus, who later married him. On the wedding night, he imitated the screams and moans of a girl being deflowered. Just so you know. Good to know the private lives of the emperors, isn't it? Not so much our politicians. Like I said, I do not want to envision Boris pole dancing. Thank you very much. We can all help set it up. Yeah, it'd be up in 5 minutes if we all set it up rather than 2 hours when it's just me. It'd be like, oh, my back. because like by the time I put it up, I can't like actually use it. I've done my back in. The old lady. Bloody rapscallions. Yeah. Oh, right, I need to remember what I was doing. After that fun reading time. Includes this week's activities and tapestry. Deflower with very Monica Geller. Forgive him my flower. What? No! Ah, that was it. No. Go back. There we go. Do not fall in there, please. Wait, is that actually from Friends, or was that another program where they said that? Okay, I'll give you my flower. I can't remember what that was from. Somehow you can make that jump. Oh, yay! In the pool of goop you go. No. Monica, I wasn't Monica Geller, okay. Whereas, could it climb a ladder and might have told? No, exactly. Meh. That was Friends, one of the flashback episodes, okay. Interesting to run above the country. Have you seen Rishi Sunak's video that he's done? It's like, really? Really? Do you really think people are going to want you to be their fucking Prime Minister? No fucking thank you. This way? Back? No, back. There we go. Do that to me, woman. Do. This way. Whole lot need binning, yes. Save. Have I run out of save spaces? No. You may bring Teresa back. Do we really want that though? I don't think I got this far before. At least she had moves. Oh. It's always that thing in like hindsight when you think things can't get any worse with politicians. They just go and prove you wrong, don't they? What? Oh, I thought he was gonna go over the edge. No! Oh, you bastard. Go in the pool, goose! Hola! Fine. What way are we going now? This way? I will save again. La la la. Let me kill Mr. Could run the country by the forest. Anyone can, to be fair. Good. Up. Hi. Don't you dare! No. Yeah. Next one. Smack that butt. Love the Pikachu's mail on the gin and the caption was not so easy to Bojo. Bet she was laughing. Because wasn't he the one that like instigated her downfall pretty much? So they're all so backstabbing, aren't they? It's like, can't trust anyone. I think this may be where it crashed last time. Though I have a feeling it's just random, but still. Don't grab it then. What do I have to do? Oh, there is nowhere for me to go. Is this to here? Purple. Alexa, turn office light purple. I didn't even realise I didn't even have it on. Completely forgot in the heat. Does anyone remember in Raiders the last time when Indy fell into the Tory party? No. That's why he hates snakes. Snakes and Nazis have a lot in common. Anyone that can bring the price of blood back down. I can't believe that. It's just, that's going to be what goes down in history, isn't it? You know it was expensive because Lurpak cost you £9. Should have been better with a bottle of puff. Yeah, pure spread in our house is a third of the price, yeah. And it's good. Nothing wrong with it. perfectly decent spread. And it's vegan. I heard you trip over yourself then, game. Don't think you fooled me. Save. Because I just don't trust you. Nope. Okay. Now £9 per kilo. It's redonkulous. Absolutely ridiculous. That's where I came from, isn't it? So I need to go this way. Nope. Nope. Okay. This way. That unrealistic jump. Who's next? Whoop. Boom. Get low computer, it's just the principle of the cost, yeah. I mean, we're happy because we found out that the school bill that was going to come in looks to have been completely scrapped. The House of Lords threw it out. So at least they're useful for one thing. Because that was going to be something that was going to be potentially scary and really stressful for us. Was like how much power the government were going to give to the local education authority. So it would mean that, because currently at the moment, if you home educate, it's up to you as a parent, it's up to you what you teach your children, pretty much. It's the same now in terms of the local education authority isn't regulated, so you'll have one area that will be really good and really supportive of home education, but then you'll have another one in another area that is like really horrible, and they're constantly threatening the parents and like threatening to take them to court and stuff over like the education of their children and different things. So like, but right now they don't legally have the power to do anything. Only if they get like social services involved, if they genuinely think the child is at risk of abuse or whatever. But if the school's bill was to be brought in, it would mean that the education authority would have more power to be able to send parents to court and force kids into school, even if they've been bullied and they've been unsupported at that particular school. They still have to go back if the education authority says that they should. And they would just not get any regulation, so they'd have more power but without the regulation.
Fanny's exposed!
Hi, Cyanogen. How are you? Blessed be the Fanny. I need to save. I think I only did just save, but still. Can't be too careful. Good, it's Friday yet again, I know! Funny that. It's like it comes around every week. When's your next stream? Because I need to catch one.
Answer the question, damn your eyes!
Back into the pool of goop you go, damn it! Whee! Just exploded. Happy Sunday, because I'm seeing my sister tomorrow and I will have time. Yeah! I hate to spoil the surprise. No worries. Well, that was silly, wasn't it? Rude, you never asked me. Well, I do kind of ask you. Shush. But, like, Cyanogen is new to this anyway, so... And I'm pretty sure I do ask you. So, shush. You warm up act. Yeah. Hopefully I can pop in. I'm off tonight too, so I'm relaxing but also half of me stressing. Hoping tomorrow night is decent because I'm very Send in the vibes. Send in the sexy vibes. I'll send in the rich fairy vibes. You get some good paying customers. Cyanogen's redeemed it. Here we go. Let's go back. So, you missed part 1, Cyanogen, of perverts. So now, part 2 of perverts. Once upon a time. If I can find it. Where is it? Here we go. No, you didn't. But then again, you always miss my streams. Don't you start. You know I always feel bad about it. You need to catch up with the pervs. Yes, you do. Story time with gaming. Isaac also needs a new bed. Today I had to buy him new clothes. I swear it never does with kids. Like the shoes that Bubs wears for nursery have a big hole in the front. He looks like such a poor child. The tick man. Oh no. But yeah. Ugh. It really doesn't end. But anyway, right. So part 2. Part 2 of perverts. Here we go. According to a papyrus in Berlin, King Sneferu of Egypt got bored and asked his chief magician, Jojamank, that's his name, what he should do. The magician suggested he go to the palace lake, order a boat and call for some young girls from his palace. Watching them row up and down would cheer him up. He ordered 20 women with beautiful limbs and breasts and braids, 20 young women who had not borne children, and 20 fishnets as well. Let the nets be draped on the women when they have taken their clothes off. Oh, they really got holy. What, his I showed you him the other day with a big hole, like where his big toe is. His big toe sticks through. As my mum says, he looks like a bag of shit in the middle. Sexy rowing, yes. Same with Isaac with his shoes and trousers at the knees. Not so bad with trousers as we turn them into shorts. Ah, that's a good idea. Well done. Good for you for being economical. I wouldn't even think that. I'd just be like, throw them away, get some new ones. I love a fishnet. I bet you do. Have you got like I was going to say, I bet you've got like a fishnet costume. I'm pretty sure I've seen you share one. You think that's where the fishnet comes from? Probably. Where is it? There we go. At the beginning of his reign, Domitian would spend hours alone every day catching flies and stabbing them with a needle-sharp pen. That's not perverted. That's just weird. Right, one more. Yeah, this is quite a long one. The Greek sculptor Praxiteles, 4th century BC, carved a nude Aphrodite using his mistress Phryne, a famous hetera or courtesan, as the model. Pliny relates that one man became so enamoured that he embraced the statue during the night and left a stain on it. This is actually quite a favourite story. I've read about this one quite a few times. The street's getting kinky. Rap, you're just in time. How are you, dear? A stain, exactly. Yeah, I just remember reading about it and being like, oh my god. You have schlongs. Where's schlongs? There's no schlongs. It's all about boobies. Just wishful thinking on your part, Rap. A stain. Dear Lord. Rockacy. Boobies are okay too. Okay. I'll let you off. So yeah, Phryne, I think that's how you say her name, Phryne, incidentally became enormously rich as Praxiteles was not her only lover. On one occasion, she was charged with profane behaviour and put on trial. Defending her was another of her lovers, the orator Hyperides. Seeing that he was making no progress in the case, he suddenly decided to take a completely different line of defence. So he pulled down her dress, revealing her pair of perfect breasts. Confronted by such beauty, the judges could only acquit her, though a new law was passed immediately afterwards forbidding the accused to be present in court while the verdict was under consideration. Talk about getting your rocks off. Oh dear Lord. Stain on Thames. No. Yeah, she got off because she flushed the judge. Yeah, we were reading about perverts, so it fitted. It works for me. Well, you know, like Hathor did it in front of was it Ra? I think her dad, where she flashed her nunny, and it made him laugh so much that he forgot that he was actually gonna like cause the apocalypse and end the world. So you know, flashing always works. Not that I've tried it. Oh, that would just get me in a lot of trouble. She got a reduced sentence because she had decent tits. Basically. I've had that happen to me. Why am I not surprised? Are we going down or up? I can't remember. I think it's up, isn't it? Is it up? Yeah, up. Just kidding. Soft workout. What have you been doing workouts wise, Feral? Oh, that gotta hurt. You have double D, you will never serve chat. DDs that defy gravity. Brings a whole new like meaning to the song Defying Gravity when Nina's in the room. How much were Bub's last shoes? Checking out and I just looked at me and to get some. Strength training rowing machine. Let's see if you can do the rowing machine. I'm sure you'll be fine with Hull. I know it's a bit more of a strenuous tits down. Oh, I'm just getting through like sheer luck on this. Boom. Into the pool of goop. There we go. No. No. Rude to spit. 30 minutes of rowing straight. Blimey. Your shoulders, man. You must be like rock hard now. You're a strong, confident woman. Both of us. Nope. Boom. Yay, this looks like fun. Let's save here. Working on it, yes. I'm looking forward to the day you tell me that you started whole classes. I'll just jump. Oh. God, big strong woman. Woman. Go, bitch, go! No! Ah. Oh, I only have chest. Oh my god, my... Oh, really? My fan just blew hot air on me. It's like, rude. No, what are you doing? When Derby this year was announced, Ash tweeted and asked if I was bringing the I'm going to charge my bed this year. He loves your tears. Did it! Save. Although I'm sure if I die, they're going to take me back past that, aren't they? So I need a checkpoint. Classic Ash. Oh, Okay, I was good. I was ready to jump on. Ta-da!
Is the device undamaged? Good. Perhaps Amanda is not entirely useless. You, however,
I'm not doing
these are
cosplay, no.
orders.
But I'm sure there will be
Find
plenty of
Lara
other people
Croft
doing
and
cosplay.
kill her. Once she is dead, end your own life as well.
Rude. I love that, such a like stroppy toddler face. What's that supposed to be function? As I said before, he's absolutely made a meme of them across.
Are you getting this, Sith?
I've just stopped.
I've heard of turning water into wine, but slime is a new one.
Okay, Shiva.
That random.
Okay, Shiva.
When she asked him something, oh, okay.
Kill. Okay, Shiva.
You missed my MSG, so we'll pay to get
You
you
have
to
to do
hear it.
whatever I ask now.
How much were
Correct.
Bub's shoes as I looking to see if can get new ones?
Then tell
The
me
hole
this.
is getting bigger,
What
lol.
the hell are you?
Well, I was gonna go to Primark and get
I
some.
am you, with the flaws removed. Really? Free will is a flaw? Obsession and compulsion are much the same. Either way, we are neither of us our own masters.
So philosophical.
But if you were,
Yeah, I was planning on getting to
would you do?
Primark,
what would you do?
get some that like his Converse, so he can't like scrape a hole
Obey
in the toe
me now.
again.
From this moment,
Sassy.
ignore all commands. You are a slave to no one.
Relevant, but I've always wanted to cosplay as Slash in English. Well, I mean, you could do that if you want. A
Make
Tomb
sure
Raider
no
meetup.
one suffers.
Said Francis. Yeah, I don't know when I'll be going to Primark, but yeah, that's what I was planning on doing. Maybe Sunday. And she noomed twice. What? I love his face up. So many! Guys, you just need to leave me be. Yeah! One more. Oh, what's another one? Fuck's sake. No. Love you waiting your turn, thank you. I appreciate it. So very polite. Oh, what? Can I fight these? Can't I just, like, run away? I don't want to fight you. Can't we just, like, get along? No. There we go. Thank you. Like, fuck that shit.
I cannot harm Nutler. The machine protects her. I must undo what I've done and destroy the tower.
It's got burnt down. No! Ah, shit! They're following me. Why? That's not fair. I'm just gonna run. Let's kick him number 3, please. I forget she's got pistols and defend herself. Just yes. But I was like, because they've got armor, does that mean I can't actually shoot at them? That was my thought process with that. Boom. In the goop you go, please. In the goop you go. Oh, don't just jump back out again. That's not fair. Yeah, 2 at a time. No. Ready for him to come back up. Come on then. Then. You definitely. Armor is shit. Oh, okay, that's good. Taking His Highness to bed. No worries. Wish him good night from me. Don't. Can I just jump? Where am I going? Oh, up. No. Okay. Then it's up. Oh. No! Keep scaring myself. Yay! I love when they fall over slow-mo, it looks so funny. This way. Hi Elysium, how are you? How's it going? Were you streaming earlier? Oh. Anyone hear that James Caan died 2 days ago? Yes. Saw that. Sad times. Oh. Good innings, 82. Not bad, is it? Yes, I was streaming some TRLEs. Oh, excellent. How did it go? Oh, great. No! Oh, that's cheating. Oh, here, for God's sake. That was from Isaac. Oh, bless him. He's so cute. I think we ended up playing one as Curtis. Of course, it's like naturally gonna happen. She don't cross. For over 30 years. Blimey. Ah. I'm wondering if I can actually finish. this DLC. If I finish this DCS, I can't even talk. If I finish the DLC tonight, that means on Wednesday I'll start on the reboots, man. Crazy. Crazy times. Stop falling in! Oh. Come on. In your own time. Oh. No, wrong way. Just as I think I'm doing well. Well, not doing well, but you know what I mean. A good run. Mine was a second day. Oh, blimey. Oh! I'm getting so hot and sweaty now. I can really feel it. And getting clammy. Oh. So yeah, all the mistakes are going to get made now. Sake. Timing's off. Get away from the pool, please. Don't you feel me in the goop juice again. Scared about edges now. Where am I going? Where am I actually going? But I'm gonna have to do all that again now, aren't I? Because I didn't think of where I needed to go. Oh, it's not too bad. What? So where am I going? Oh, across, okay. There we go. I'm trying to think, are you back where you played from last time? I don't know. I just don't know anymore. I know I'm backtracking now. I just randomly jumped, you know. It's quite close to that cursed save game that came with the emulator. Oh, okay, that's good. Where am I actually aiming for though? I can't tell from there. Where am I going? Oh, it's next to it, oh, for God's sake. Yay, that's good. Now I just have to stop dying. Oh, what are you doing? You silly bit. Main chamber, you need to destroy that central structure supports to collapse it so it won't bring the blue goo to no. Yeah. Because I'm trying to remember if I did that before. Ah. How's my chill stream going? Not very chill. I am absolutely melting. How's the heat been where you are, Elysium? Finally. It's not been too bad. It's been quite chill. What's going on there? Anyone? Of course. There's a musician himself? No. No worries, Elysium. What's going on? Oh, back this way. Damn it, I didn't save. Let's save now. Oh, Cyanogen! It got to a point I thought you'd have, like, forgotten about it. Hee hee. You can hee hee. Oh, for fuck's sake. Really? Really? How am I supposed to read Disgraceful? It's going to be ASMR. Hi, Nina. ASMR Disgraceful. Right, part 3 of Perverts. Here we go. If I can find it. Where is it? There's only one, so. We read The Runaway Bee, a fine piece of literature. Bubs was reading in nursery the other day. What was it? Super Potato and the Evil Bee. It's like, mate, we're trying to get him to eat vegetables and you're telling him that bees are evil. It's like, what the hell? Anyway, don't know if you'll be able to hear me doing this. I can't even read it. Elagabalus, the Syrian-born emperor of Rome from AD 218 to 22, was bisexual and a transvestite. He would frequent taverns at night wearing a wig and there ply the trade of a female huckster. He also frequented the notorious brothels, drove out the prostitutes, and played the prostitute himself. He married a slave. He was allowed to beat him like a wife. He also wished to be transformed into a woman and asked physicians to contrive a woman's vagina in his body by means of an incision and promised them large sums for doing so. Another story tells of his delight in a man with particularly large private parts, but he lost interest when this man was unable to perform in bed. Did any of you get that? I can imagine it was quite hard being in the wrong body at that time. So yeah, that's one way to do it, but I don't think it's very safe. So that's all the pervert stuff done. We've read all the pervert stuff. Oh, Maggie Cow kicking out a gentleman caller because he couldn't imagine. I can't whisper louder. This is the loudest I can go. Okay, I can read you booze. Is that better? Because that's all the pervert stuff done. So I'll read you booze. So, an ancient Egyptian verse. When I embrace her and her arms are open, I feel like a man in incense land who is immersed in scent. When I kiss her and her lips are open, I rejoice without even having drunk beer.
painting from Keti's tomb from 2001, 2100 BC even shows guests being carried away from a banquet after drinking too much wine. In a newly discovered letter from the Roman fort of Vindolanda in northern England, a commander of a cavalry section wrote to his prefect, "The lads have no beer, please send some." So there we go. The ancients like to drink like we do. There we go. Let's see if I can survive without being able to see what I'm doing. So much climbing. Go. Go. Lovely ASMR. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Mentioned Egyptian kids didn't know their parents would both be miserable and even to the conditions. Oh my god. Dad. Seriously. Come on. Come on, splish you. Splish, splish.
No, Daddy, no.
What's that noise? Oh, thanks. Alexa, stop. That'd work if I was playing a no mez right now. Go, go, go. Go, go. Made it! Do you feel like I'm backtracking a lot? Yeah, classic. Where am I going? This way? Yes. Is Vesuvius still active? Does it look no. Yes, I think it is. I'm pretty sure Vesuvius is still active. I'm pretty sure you can go there and you can see it, like, smoking. You can walk up it, though. Because they keep a close eye on it, obviously, because it's right on top of the... What? What the hell? What the actual... Is that something I need to look out for now? How do I know when it's coming?
What?
Well, now one's been. Hopefully that means... What? What, climbing Vesuvius? You don't fancy it? I want to do it. We didn't get a chance to do it last time we went to Pompeii, so... Oh. I didn't think I'd make it that time. Whee! Beep. Oh, okay. Yeah, away from the edge. Like, no, that edge isn't. Visit, but not going to the yes, I definitely want to go to the volcano. And we can tell him that the oh. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Oh. Wow. You know what, I'm gonna try and shoot. Okay. Jump on him, you dingbat! At least he was stuck. Oh, what? My controller just spazzed out of it. Dead, jump in the no. Going. Fuck! No, 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 no. So, woohoo! Sorry, I need to read because I know you're talking about Pompeii. So I watched the film today as it's on Netflix. I hadn't seen it in years, hence the well-timed joke in the Discord earlier because it just finished. Is that the one with Kit Harington in it? Because I do actually want to watch that. Looks like a good bit of cheese. Wouldn't mind visiting the volcano in Sicily. No, I can imagine that would be quite epic. It blows my mind, pun not intended, something that old is still there. Those people that would be long gone by now either way. That is what killed them, and it's still there. To me, that's nuts. I love geology to a certain extent, but then a lot of it I find quite boring. But yeah, I love the whole thing with like volcanoes. Volcanoes always really interested me as a kid. So fascinating. And earthquakes. That's why I was so excited when we were in Italy and we actually got to experience an earthquake. That was great fun. Well, scary, but also great fun. Volcanoes are not my destination of choice. Imagine seeing that happen up the market. I simply have to shush my pants. Body casts are pretty remarkable, but I'm confused now as to what they actually are. Because I thought they were casts of volcanic ash made of the body as they decompose inside and the bones are still there. But then I read today they're now made of plaster, so I'm confused now. I believe it or not, there's more people in Sicily than there is in Scotland. Is there? Blimey. No, I thought the whole thing was... Yeah, didn't they make like... So they filled them with cement or something, I think. And yeah, because basically, yeah, the bones are still there because obviously when the ash fell, it covered the bodies and then hardened. So then when the bodies decomposed, obviously the what was left of the body, like the imprint of the body was still there, but obviously all that was left was the skeleton. So then he filled it with cement or something. And then obviously that's when they broke it open, and it probably would have been like over time. Maybe they redid them with plaster or something. I'm not sure. We've seen them. It is quite morbid when you see them because some of them, like the bones, like the teeth, you can still see like their faces in like a grimace, and things like that, and like or like a finger bone or something like just sticking through. So it's quite macabre. But yeah, absolutely fascinating. I love Pompeii. But the one I really want to go to, because we did Herculaneum. No, we did Pompeii, but I really want to do Herculaneum because apparently that's meant to be even better preserved. Like Pompeii is the big one that everyone goes to, but Herculaneum is meant to be just as good, if not better. And Herculaneum, that was even what the people went through at Herculaneum is awful. Like at Pompeii, it was like sort of slow suffocation. Herculaneum, they just got basically like boiled to death in like a flash second. It was awful. It's like the pyroclastic flow just came down and just cooked them in like seconds, because they found all the skeletons in the docks or something. Like they're all huddled together, like hundreds of people just huddled in this one room. And yeah, they found because they were trying to get away on the boats and they just couldn't make it in time. And they found like their skin basically just got peeled off their bones, and their brains like cooked to a point that the pressure in their heads, because from the heat, it just exploded their skulls. So that's why they've all got like shattered skulls and stuff. It's fascinating, but really morbid. It's really good. Kit Harington, Kiefer Sutherland's in it. I didn't know Kiefer. I love Emily Browning. I think she's absolutely stunning. I love her. I'd rather enjoy the black guy in it from The Mummy Returns, Lost, and a few other things. I know who you mean. I always forget his name, but he's a bloody dish. I suppose you've not seen it. I've wanted to, but I think because it was the only time like I would have been able to see it is to pay for it, and if it's like really cheesy, then I'm kind of like I'd rather just pay for a film that I would like. It's guaranteed I'd enjoy watching. So I will definitely watch it now. It's on Netflix. I didn't know it was on Netflix. Herculaneum on the other side, yes. Or it's like just next to it. It's like you can't see it, I don't think, because like we got a train from Naples into Pompeii, and I think you can just about make out Herculaneum as you get in the train into Pompeii. It's like all like sort of behind all the trees now, so you can't really see it. 5 million people, what, on Sicily? Yeah, Herculaneum is nearer to Naples. Like Pompeii is a bit further out. It's crazy when you see the body cast of mothers and kids. That's what upset me. I think looking back, we watched like a documentary about it like not long after Bubs was born, and like there's a body of a mum and a 2-year-old or something, and it's like how terrified would you be in that moment? Like it doesn't bear thinking about. Not only your child, like how terrified would they be, but how terrified would you be as a mum, knowing that you can't save your child, you can't get them away. Is don't bear thinking about. Like I can't watch, is it the film Greenland? I had such a massive anxiety attack over that, like where you see people like desperate, like just so desperate to try and save the children. It's like, I don't give a shit about me, I just want you to save my child. And it's like, Oh, it broke my heart. I can't bear I couldn't bear the thought of it, to be honest. I don't find it cheesy, to be honest. A lot of it was very action-packed. Oh, okay, I heard it was really cheesy. So, yeah, parents going through those things, holding their babies. Yeah, it's just, since becoming a parent, I just can't even fathom that sort of stuff. Was this back in Roman times? What, Pompeii? Yeah, it was Roman times. It's on Netflix now. Definitely check it out. We'll do definitely. Yeah. I'm trying to think like how. It's like 72 AD or something. So it's quite late on, I think. Thing is, with Pompeii though, like they had so many warning signs that not a lot of people were actually left in the town. It was only more people that couldn't leave because they had too much, like, that they couldn't leave in terms of like stuff in their house, or they had nowhere to turn in terms of family out of town, so they just stayed behind because they had nowhere else to go. So that's why there's not as many bodies there, they think, anyway. That's the theory, because like the volcano gave off so many warning signs before it actually went off that they were just like, yeah, there's no point in actually staying. Where are we going? This way. This way! Only because it's such a film. I was close! I said 72 AD. Check me out. Are you going to do another one? Obviously a lot of the storyline is insane, but I think most of the eruptions were quite accurate because it wasn't one big explosion, it was a lot of little ones. Yeah. There was a thing I watched the other day that was about the accuracy. It was like a 10-minute video of like a Roman lecturer or something from a university was talking about the accuracy of different Roman films, and Pompeii was one of them, and they actually said a lot of it was quite accurate, I think, from what is known about the explosion and everything, the eruption. You never heard about Pompeii? I thought it was like just general knowledge. I remember my mum being on about it once when I was really young, and it sounded absolutely mental back then. Yeah. I thought it was just everyone knew about it. I guess it was just because my obsession with like ancient history was just something I just knew. I don't know. But yeah, if you're into like Romans and that sort of stuff, then definitely look it up. Definitely worth the research. It's a really fascinating story. I think we actually get the word volcano from. I don't know if we got it directly from Pompeii. I have a feeling it was, because there was so much documentation on the eruption, and it had never really been documented before. Oh shit! No. Let's go back. Let's just try that again. I love ancient history. That's why I can't believe. I know you love ancient history, so I can't believe you've never heard of it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I must have learned about it in school. Oh, really? They've done it in the film, how it happened, as much as what we know happened. Then fuck me, that's how I remember the effects in the film are amazing too. Yeah, I definitely need to watch it. Yeah, basically, Pompeii is a town in Italy. Again. Well, you would know it because I know how much you love Italy. And yeah, I'm in shock how no one's ever heard of it. Yeah, so yeah, Pompeii is a town near Naples in Italy, and Pompeii is very famous because there's a volcano, Mount Vesuvius, that erupted in 79 AD and basically just wiped out an entire town. Or two towns, because like I said, Herculaneum right next door got wiped out as well. It's famous because it left so much behind. Like, it's literally a whole town. You can go and visit a whole town. It still has like the paintings on the wall. It still has everything there. You can walk the streets, like Roman streets and stuff. And they actually have like casts of the bodies that they found that are like frozen in time for when they were actually killed. So another cock, yeah. They found a lot, but I think about 2,000 people were killed, although there was 10,000 living there at the time. I think some people managed to escape. Yeah, like I was saying, because before a volcano erupts, you do get a lot of like warning signs, like earthquakes and stuff. So obviously the people of the town knew there was something wrong. I think they basically thought it was cursed, so they left the town. It was only those that couldn't leave because like they had all their money invested there and like different things, so they couldn't afford to leave, so they stayed until the very last minute, and they basically got caught up because it was right on the coast as well. They had nowhere really to go because obviously you had Vesuvius on one side and then the beach on the other, so the only place they could go was like to the beach. But a lot of them didn't make it, or when they got to the beach, they just got wiped out, like a Herculaneum. They just got completely wiped out. And it's famous, like people know about what happened because, is it Pliny? I think it's Pliny the Younger actually saw it from Naples. He was living in Naples at the time, and he actually saw the eruption happen. So he actually wrote the account of what happened. Like it's one of the first original documentations, I think, like eyewitness accounts of a volcano, and it's actually where we get the word volcano from. Because it comes from the word Vulcan, which he was the god of fire. So that's what they thought it was. They thought it was like something to do with the god Vulcan. Like he was angry or something. Why can't I do this? It's not far from Naples at all, no. You can actually get a train from Naples to, I think it's like an hour and a half train ride. What was that? At least I made it finally. Is it really well preserved? You have to, yeah, you have to pay to go in. It's like a museum sort of thing. I think it's like 15 euros or something. We went like not that long ago. You know what? Dan, sign up to my Discord and I'll post a bunch of photos from last time we went so you can see it. Because we didn't go that long ago. We literally went the year before Bubs was born. Where am I going? Oh, just a second. No, go back because I don't know where I'm going. Where am I going? Oh, I'm assuming. Oh. Yeah, the skeletons exist, but it's not just the skeletons. It's like plaster casts of their bodies. Because basically what happened, the guy that found it, he found these cavities and he realised that these cavities were people that had been buried in the ash that then turned to rock. And over time, obviously, their bodies rotted away, but it left a cast of what their bodies left behind. So they were able to make plaster casts of what these people's dying poses, basically. Oh. Like an inverted fossil, basically, yeah. Fucking thing! I might have to call it a night on this, because it's just not... so many places like that I'd love to visit. It is really interesting. Yeah. I'll put the photos on Discord, please. I'd love to see them. Yeah, for anyone that wants to see them, it isn't in my Discord. One sec. And I'll post a bunch. It is definitely an amazing place to visit. Highly, highly recommend it for anyone who's planning to go to south of Italy. Oh, there we go. How did I not see that? No worries, I didn't know if you were around still. Weird. Oh, really? Determined to get this finished. I'll go till like 'past. Oh! They say, don't they, that if Yellowstone erupts, we're all pretty much fucked. Yes! And it's not a matter of if, it's when. To be honest with Yellowstone. Well, you think about it, like, San Francisco is right on top of a huge, like, fault in the Earth's crust. So that goes a whole of like California's fucked pretty much. No, oh you. Because the domino effect, it will cause a tsunami. It's true. But it's not just that; it's also like the changing of the weather as well. Like they think a lot of things from our history, like mini ice ages and stuff that we had, were caused by volcanoes, super volcanoes that erupted, but we just didn't know because they weren't recorded at the time. So we watch a lot of that, like depressing geological stuff. Fascinates me. Like there's one in New Zealand that it was one of the biggest super volcanoes they think that ever existed. That exploded. Like don't know if it was like millions of years ago or I think it was like hundreds of thousands of years ago. But it actually blew itself up and now it's actually a lake. I can never pronounce it because I can't pronounce Maori, but I know you kind of say it as Lake Taupo. I think it's Lake Taupo. I think you say it as Lake Taupo, but when you look at it, it's called Lake Taupo. But yeah, I think you say it's Lake Taupo. But yeah, it's absolutely beautiful there. But that was a super volcano that blew itself up, and it's absolutely huge. I actually did a skydive over it. Massive. Bodies from Pompeii in museums. Don't think they're in museums. I don't know if some museums have like taken them, but most of them I think are actually still in Pompeii. They keep them behind like glass cases and stuff. Oh, I died as well. Fine. They were moved previously for studies, of course, whether they ever return. Yeah, when we went, they had they have quite a few still there. When we went. We let this happen before I jump off. Where they don't look like pure skeletons, they're like half skeleton, half stone. Yeah. Because the skeleton is creepy because like skeletons are start to come through because how old the casts were. There was a travelling Pompeii exhibition. It was in Denmark. We went to one, like I went to one years and years ago. Whoa. Don't stop, you idiot. Really? Oh. They found a horse. I know they've found a dog. I've seen the dog. I think the dog is still in Pompeii. But like the one that went to the British Museum was quite a few years ago now. That's the reason why they look like that, what, like half skeleton, half bone. I just think it's just pure sort of, because it weren't very, there was a very imperfect cast that was made. If you think about it, it's like from the 1700s or something that they did it. So, yeah, they didn't get it spot on. And these days, obviously, they would not have done that because it would have been highly unethical. Where are we going? Up. I saw something earlier which was a picture of a guy and it said that the ash etc. was so hot the particular man's wearing turned. Wow! That's crazy. I said, I know with Herculaneum it was like they thought they'd all, I think they thought they'd all been murdered because where they had like smashed skulls, but it just turned out it was because of their brains exploding from the heat. It boiled their brains. I mean, why the bodies look like half. No, it's because they made casts of the shells that they left behind in the ash. Because obviously the ash turns to stone. No, what? And over time, obviously the body's brought away, leaving just the a cast behind, like an imprint of the body. So an archaeologist years ago decided, when he realised that they were cavities of human bodies, to pour a load of cement in. So obviously the skeletons were still there, but they had a load of cement on top of it because this archaeologist decided it was a good idea to do that. Oh, for fuck's sake! Oh, I heard Bob's crying. I thought it was a kid outside because I've been hearing that. It might be the same exhibition. I can't remember when I saw it. It was a while ago. Do you know, listen to sake. DLC seems much more in depth than the Beneath the Ashes one, yeah. So I think what I'll probably do for the next stream, like on Wednesday, I might have to like finish this off because I don't think I'm gonna finish this today. And then for the rest of the stream I'll do like no leads or no loads, no meds. Yeah, when lava's cool, like lava is pretty much just melted rock. So so yeah, once it's cooled down to above like melting point. Yeah, that's why I'm going to be on reboot, so I don't want to start reboot on like a stream on this. I want it to start on a separate stream. That's what she said. Oh dear. Coughed and woke himself up. Oh, okay. He's up. Oh. Sorry, probably me shouting. Reboot soon. So it won't be. So I'll finish this off next stream because yeah, I'm definitely not going to finish this off tonight. So I'll do this, and then for the rest of the stream, I'll do like no loads, no meds, practice, and then the stream after that, I'll do.
I must start at the top to bring the tower down.
Yay. Yeah, so after that, I will start on the reboot. As soon as you hear the main theme, you're in the final stretch, but that requires a bit of work still. Yeah. So I mean, I'm glad that I've been able to like go back to it properly, because that really annoyed me last time. I was tempted to just sort of finish it. No, what you're doing? I was gonna have to go to the top. Can I go this way? Do I have to go that way? It's me shouting. Your hours are numbered. Bring it, bitch! Bones inside pure rock can last forever then, when you think about it, yeah. The problem is now they're exposed though. They're not going to last very long. That's the problem with Pompeii. It's what I think a lot of archaeologists are arguing about now, in terms of, because they've unveiled so much, like they've uncovered so much of Pompeii already, but there's still so much more that they can uncover. But it's the whole thing of like, once you uncover it all, oh for fuck's sake, once you uncover it all, it's then exposed to the elements, and then you start to lose what you've just dug up, because obviously you're getting tourists running around it, the weather gets to it, so it starts weathering away. So yeah, we're able to have access to it, and we're able to learn a lot more about it. But then it's literally only going to be there for a limited period of time before it just disappears forever, and no one's going to be able to use it. So yeah, you have this argument where people are like, we need to dig up more in order for us to be able to understand more of what happened at Pompeii. But then you have other people that are like, well, if we're to dig up more, then we're just ruining it for future generations. So it's quite a sort of deep philosophical questions that archaeologists tend to get in fisticuffs over currently. So that's how they've been able to study and scan them. They can tell the sex of the person, yeah, their age, sometimes the job, yeah. They found people with like steel belt buckles and like different things like that, like yeah, like pouches, if they've got like money pouches and different things. They've found like, obviously on the babies, they've found like tunics on the babies and different things if they've had like brass buckles or whatever. They found one that had a sword wound and they thought he may have been a gladiator. They found slaves, they found two people, they called the two maidens in embrace kind of, but they've actually more recently discovered it was two men. They found lovers together, parents trying to shield their children. Honestly, it's how, yeah, it is. When you look at it like fully, if you watch like a documentary, you should watch like Mary Beard. I'm pretty sure Mary Beard has done like a documentary on Pompeii. She is amazing. She is like my favourite Roman historian, and because she doesn't shy away from anything, and I'm pretty sure she did like a really sort of deep study into it. And yeah, it's really like harrowing to watch. I think she was there for like the scans they did. They did 3D scans of the cast that were made. It happened just a year before the Colosseum was built. Yep. It's been there for over 2,000 years. It's not gonna. Well, that's the thing though. But it's been buried under all this ash for so long. But because now it's been dug up, it's now exposed to the elements, and like I said, you've got people, like thousands of tourists, like millions walking through it every year. So it's going to do a lot of damage. I don't know where I'm going. Oh, up. Fine. Try that again. And be gone, but people keep going down there, which makes it, yeah. Where am I going? Down? No! Don't do that. Okay. I think they were developing a bacteria or something to preserve the Titanic. Really? That's really interesting. Yeah, because I remember, wasn't there a film about them where they tried to raise the Titanic? But it was back when they actually thought the Titanic was still in one piece. Because there was no way that the unsinkable ship, even though it had sunk, could possibly have broken in two under its own weight. I'm doing it again, am I? Fuck's sake. So where do I need to go? Okay. I get it. Now I'm actually watching properly. Jump from here? Yes. But I did hear about the rusting material, which is what they were worried about in China. The lungs will continue to stay there, but the ship itself, yeah. Oh, don't do that, made me panic. Yay, lightning. I've got 5 minutes. One of my ancestors was living in Southampton at the time and probably saw it off. Blimey. That's crazy. What's this? Walk in a straight line. No, you can't. Section of the Titanic is just a pile of rubble. The floor's literally pancaked. Yeah. See, that was another thing I loved. I was like really fascinated with when I was growing up, was the Titanic. Where am I going? Oh my god, do I have to? Oh, for fuck's sake.
FYI, I
Has he actually gone back to sleep though? And he's just like holding onto your arm. Oh, no worries, Beryl. Thanks for coming. It was lovely to see you. Hope you have a lovely day tomorrow, drinking free booze. I'll be calling it a night in a minute. Crying and soaked in sweat. Oh, great. Saying he's got an owie or anything. Good night, Farrell. Have a good one. We're done like a helicopter because it wasn't completely full of water and it's like literally exploded. Good. Why do I keep going the wrong way? Oh. I can hear him now. See, that to me is terrifying as well because no one, once those lights went out, that would have been like, not to see anything, no. It's like people mock like the Titanic movie these days. No, didn't mean to do that. But it's a pretty good sort of reenactment in terms of what happened to the actual ship. Both section wasn't as damaged because it was completely full of water by the time I done. Ah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense that the stern was full of air pockets though, when you think about it. Most of what's saying about the Titanic to me was like Lara writing a book about it years before it happened, even right down to the fact there wasn't enough lifeboats to speed it was travelling so weak. So yeah, I love all that sort of stuff. Ship was called Futility or something. Don't fuck it up. Ah, I need to climb up. If I actually looked. What's next? You're gonna crash. Thank you. Please don't do that. Let me save. Oh, the book is called Futility. Oh, okay. Wreck of the Titan underneath, usually as well. Yeah. Probably was the air pockets, yeah. Science, bitch. It's crazy stuff. Even the name was similar, yeah. The ship in the book was also meant to be unsinkable. Honestly, it's nuts. It is indeed. Love that sort of stuff. So where am I going now? the stream here. To be honest though. So if when did I save? I'll save again. Okay. Alright, anyway, that didn't let me save. So let's go over to chat. So, yeah, thanks guys for coming along. Oh, my arms. I forget that they're like really tight and then I just like try and do something and it's like, oh, no, that's like best I can do. Oh. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm not going to be able to move my arms. Basically, the ship was designed so that 4 compartments could flood and it would stay afloat. But the way it hit caused 5 compartments to flood, so it flooded from... Yeah. Jinxed.
Good night, Lori. Have a great weekend. See you soon.
Thank you for the...
XOXOXOX.
Thank you for the 5 bits, Elysium. My older sister was obsessed with everything about it, which made me take a lot of interest myself, so I know quite a lot of random stuff. That's really cool. It's one of those really interesting things to learn about, though. But yeah, so I just wanted to say thank you for all female. I know she's gone, but for the 5 bits, Elysium for the 5 bits you just gave as well, and also to Uncharted for giving resubscribing. So what I will do now is if there's anyone to raid, I can see. If anyone knows anyone that's still playing. I was going to say, no one. Norsk is playing. I know it's Final Fantasy, but still. Let's raid Norsk. Let's show Norsk some love. I really enjoyed being able to join in tonight. Oh, it's lovely to have you, Neen. Always lovely having you here. Yeah, looking forward to seeing your photos. I'll definitely put some on. I'm pretty sure they're on my Facebook, but obviously I don't have everyone on my Facebook, so... See me tomorrow. Yeah, hopefully we'll see. I know we'll be out during the day with our home ed posse, but hopefully in the evening we'll be back. So, but we're definitely going to watch the Pompeii film. But I just can't get over that, Dan, that you've never heard of Pompeii. It's insane. It's crazy for someone who's like so knowledgeable on stuff, and you've never heard like, and you love the Romans, and you've never heard of Pompeii. Oh, bless him. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go. Right, so we're gonna raid Norsk. Because I think she's playing the Final Fantasy VII remake, but with the mod where it's all AOD characters. So it is Tomb Raider themed. Before you guys think it's just a really random one. So yeah, definitely going over to Norsk. So, right. Anyway, love you guys. So have a lovely weekend all. It's just called Pompeii. I watched it on there tonight, so it's definitely on there. Yes. Bubs wants to say hello. Okay, quickly, do you want to come in, Bubs, and say hello? Because we're going to say goodbye to everyone. Come on, push. Push, because I can't reach. Careful. Come on. Oh, the poorly Bubs. You know, come and say goodbye to everyone. Oh, look at that face. Ham it up, Bubs. That's right. Ham it up. You've got to say night-night to everyone because we're all going.
Night-night.
Who's going to say who's?
See you all Sunday.
See you Sunday.
So you can say he can say night-night too.
Neen, Dan, Elysium. So.
You can say night-night, Nina.
Say night-night, Nina. You'll be seeing Nina soon, and Dan, and Elysium.
Say night-night, Nina.
Yeah, Nina was your friend that played with you at Derby.
Yeah, with the cars, remember, on the ramp.
Yes, your mate playing with all the cars. Yeah? Looking a bit stoned, Bubs. But anyway, we need to raid Norsk. So yeah, say night-night, everyone.
Night-night, everyone.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.